we are in step number 2 of the single braid style. In this step, I will be showing you in detail how to do your single braid extensions. First, we will begin by preparing our hair for our braids. You will then part the hair on your head and prepare that hair as well. Then I will show you in detail how to do your own single braids. When preparing your extensions for your single braids, you want to make sure that you concentrate on one bundle at a time. My box braids will be pretty long, so I will actually use this entire length of the hair. If you would like your box braids to be at your shoulder or a little bit below your shoulders, you will be cutting this package in half. But since I want them long, I will leave the length as is and remove the rubber band from the bottom and the top. So now you're going to hold your extensions directly in the middle, making sure the bottom is as even as possible. And this technique is what I call the tapering technique. What you want to do is make sure that the ends of your hair is not straight across or bluntly cut. The reason why is because when you braid your hair, if the ends are perfectly matched, sometimes the braid can unravel. So the fact that some ends are a little bit thinner, it helps to keep your braids intact at the ends. So what you want to do is hold the hair with one hand and take your fingers of another and gently pull on hairs that are at the bottom on one side of your extension. You just want to pull a little bit enough to break up the straight cross on the bottom of your hair. You want it to look as if the extensions are gradually just getting a little bit thinner at the bottom. Now I'm just going to shake it out a little bit and tease it a little bit more. You want to do this to all of your bundles of extensions as you are braiding your box braids. So once you finish using all of this hair for your braids, then when you grab your next package, you're going to do the same technique. Next, I will show you how to prepare the hair in your hands for your box braid extensions. Once you have tapered the ends of your extensions, I will now show you how to prepare your hands on your hair for your braids. So what you want to do is take your bundle of hair and we're going to pinch off about a medium-sized amount of hair for our braid. So this is about how much hair you want to pinch off. Now, you want to make sure that both sides are even as you get ready to prepare your hands for your extensions. From this point, what you want to do is divide this hair into two pieces. You want to pinch off the hair so that in one hand you're holding a third of what you originally started with, and in the other hand you are holding 2/3 of what you've originally started with. So I'm going to pinch off a third amount from this hair here and pull them apart. So now in my right hand I have 1/3 and in my left hand I have 2/3. From this point you want to take your third piece of hair and wrap it around this 2/3 amount of hair here. So now this is my third piece that I have here, and this piece is my 2/3 piece. But as you can see now, I have 3 equal legs that will serve as the parts of my braid. So now that you have your 3 pieces here, you want to take the 3 main fingers of your right hand and position it on the 1/3 piece of hair here. You want to get it as close to this meeting point here as possible. Now that your hand is positioned there, you're going to take your left hand and insert your index finger through the opening and wrap the rest of your fingers around the hair. So once again, you just insert your index finger and the rest of your fingers will close around the hair. Now from this point, what you want to do is take your right hand, twirl it underneath the hair, and tuck your index finger through the opening here in your left hand. So right now, with all of my fingers positioned, I'm going to turn my right hand under, keeping everything tight. I'm going to insert my index finger through this opening here. And then the hair in between my index finger and my thumb will be close together. So now my hand is ready for my braid, and I still have my 3 pieces of hair for the braid. And my left hand is free to help me braid. Once again, I will show you the entire process of how to hold your hands for your hair extension. So right now, I will be putting all the hair back together. Making sure both ends are equal. And you want to pinch a third off from your portion of hair you have here. So now my right hand is 1/3 and then my left hand is 2/3. You want to take the third and wrap it around the 2/3 of hair you have. Now your third piece here serves as the leg of your braid, and so does these other 2 sections as well. So to position your hands, the 3 main fingers of your right hand will be positioned on your third piece of hair. Your left hand, you are going to take your index finger, insert it through the opening here, and wrap the rest of your fingers around the hair. Now that everything is held tightly, you're going to rotate your right hand underneath, holding everything tight. You're going to insert your index finger through that opening there and pinch the hair in between your index finger and your thumb together. Now your right hand is ready for your braid, and you still have your 3 pieces of hair here, and your left hand is free to assist you with your braids. Before you actually begin braiding your single braid, you want to make sure that you've already parted out a section of hair on your head for your braids. So the type of comb that I'm going to be using to part my hair has 3 different sized teeth on it that serve for different purposes. The teeth here on the left side of this comb are the tightest teeth that are closest together, and it serves as your typical comb. The teeth here on the right side are wider, and it's helpful for detangling your hair and also adding more body and bounce to an already straight or curly style. The teeth here at the bottom of my comb are wide, and they are great for detangling your hair, and they also serve as a typical pick for any style you choose. So right now I'm going to be using all of these teeth to help me part my hair for my single braids. So I'm going to be starting right here on the right side of my head, and I'm going to part out a box shape here close to my ear. So this is the typical size of hair that you want your box braid to be. You want to get it as close to a square as possible, and if you can't, that's fine, but you want your parts to be neat. And the size of my part is probably about 1.5 inches on all the sides around. So from this point, I'm going to use my water bottle to mist my hair with a little bit of water, and then you're going to apply your favorite hair gel to the ends of your hair. Now here we are, and we are going to begin by braiding our single braid extensions. But before you begin, I want to let you know that the color of these extensions that I will be using, for example, will not be the style that I will be using for my braids. My hair is an extremely dark color, it's close to black, so I will be using dark black or dark brown extensions to braid my hair. For example, so that you can see the technique and the entire process, I will be using an extremely light color of extensions to do the box braids. And the color of this hair is blonde. So right now, really quickly, I will show you once again how to position your hands for your box braids. You want to pinch off 1/3, wrap it around the 2/3, Position your 3 fingers of your right hand on that third piece and insert your index finger of your left hand and wrap your hands around. Rotate your right hand underneath, insert your index finger through the opening and pinch that hair in between your thumb and your index finger. Now that your right hand is ready, we are going to begin braiding. So I'm going to go right up here to the part on my head here. And then my left hand is going to rest over my head to assist me as I start braiding my box braid. So right now I'm going to gather all of the hair that's in this part with my left hand, just like that. Then I'm going to open up my index finger and my thumb to pinch all of the hair in that space. So once again, I have my hair around my fingers, and I'm opening up my index finger and my thumb to pinch all of the hair that I have in my left hand here. So now from this point, I'm gonna bring this top piece of hair here to the side with my free hand, and I'm gonna twist my right hand to the right to create a little opening in between my index finger and my thumb. So in between where my fingers have created this opening, I'm going to take my index finger of my left hand and hook it onto that bottom piece of hair to connect that to my left hand here. Now I'm going to take my right hand again and position it on the hair and the piece of extension here, making sure to get everything as tightly as possible. Now my left hand has 2 separate strands of hair, so I'm going to rotate my left hand to the left. And in this opening in between the 2 strands, I'm going to hook the index finger of my right hand and connect the strand back to my right hand. Now my left hand is free and I have this piece of hair that hangs over top. So now I'm just going to hold this hair with my left hand, put it over to the side, and rotate now my right hand to the right. And from that V opening here at the bottom, I'm going to insert my index finger of my left hand and hook the bottom piece. Now my right hand is free. I'm gonna hold my right hand on that piece of hair there, rotate my left hand again, and in between the opening of those 2 strands, hook the bottom piece. And you have to do that just a couple of times to make sure that your braid is secure on your head. Now once you've braided down far enough, you should be able to let go without your braid unraveling. From this point, now I'm going to release my left hand that was over my head, just so it's more comfortable for me to braid here. And then I'm going to pick up the pieces again and continue to braid until I reach the bottom. Now that we're nearing the bottom, you're just going to continue to braid all the way down until you can't go any further. Once you have finished braiding all the way down to the bottom, what you're going to do from this point is take your scissors and you're going to trim off those pieces of hair that sticks out of the braid or out of the bottom of the braid here. So I will be taking my scissors. And then I'm just going to trim off this piece that's extremely long here. Just cut that off. And then you're going to work your way trimming off any pieces of hair that sticks out of the braid. Now that I have shown you how to do a single braid extension, remember that the color of the hair was only for demonstration purposes. I will not be using blonde hair extensions to braid my hair, but if you would like to use a different color, feel free. So now I will show you with the black hair how I will be braiding my single braid extensions. The same technique applies. Now I'm actually using the color hair that I will be using for my entire head. So now I'm going to go right up to my head with my extensions, and I will be opening up my thumb and my index finger to grab all of my hair here. So now from this point, I'm going to take the hair that's up top, I'm going to move that to the side, rotate my right hand to the right, create an opening, insert my index finger of my left hand to hook that bottom piece of hair. Now in my left hand I have 2 pieces of hair here, and in my right hand I have 1. So my right hand will remain and my left hand will rotate to the left, and in that opening there I will hook my index finger to hook that bottom piece of hair. So now my left hand is free with 1 piece, and my right hand has 2 strands of hair. The right hand gets rotated to the right, and in this opening here, I will hook the index of my left finger to add to that hand again. You're going to do this process just for a little bit until you have braided down far enough. So once you release your hands, the braid should not unravel. Now I'm going to take my left hand, move it around more comfortably so that I can finish braiding my braid. So you will just continue braiding to the very bottom until you reach the ends of the hair. Sometimes if one of the legs of the braid seems to run short, what you can simply do is just go ahead and pinch off a little bit of hair from one of the sides and add it to another leg of your braid. So now once you have braided down your braid as far as you can go, you will be taking your scissors to trim off any hair that is left at the bottom. So now that I've braided as far down as I could, I'm going to be trimming this piece off here. I'm going to take my scissors. Then you're just going to go ahead and trim off that last piece and trim off any hair that sticks out of the braid as well. this step, I have shown you how to prepare your weave for your braids. I then showed you how to position the hair on your hands for your braids. Next, you've sectioned your hair, and then I showed you in detail, step by step, how to do your single braid extensions. So continue the same process over your entire head until all of your braids have been completed. In the next step, step number 3, I will be giving you my best tips, tricks, and advice for doing your single braids.